and gentlemen, the swash through, a very special swash through that I have promised. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, you know what we were talking about the great Aarvoll, Eric, from the Return to the Land movement and these vicious anti-white Jews, especially the anti-white Jews at the ADL, that does nothing for Jews, but just hunts across the land for white people who are heretical to anti-whiteism and endeavoring to destroy them. We have that very gentleman right now, bringing him on for a swash, the good brother. It is wonderful to see you. Big salutes to you. Under fire. How are you doing? What is going on, man?
A lot, apparently. Hey, good to be with you, Jason. I caught a little bit of your stream earlier, and it's pronounced Siri. It's Peter Siri, and he's a very buttoned down, non-violent person. It absolutely was a self-defense incident, and it was an illegal minor trespassing on his community's land. He had warned them to get off of there multiple times. One time he went down to tell him to leave, and they attacked him. So, of course, he defended himself. As far as the other allegation, I want to clear Peter's name because it's just not fair. Like, they were really kind, actually, to me in particular. They call me intelligent. They use flattering pictures. And then Peter, they treat like this brazen criminal, and he's absolutely not. He's very sober, very professional, and reliable. But they owed him money. He founded the community. He did a lot of work that never was compensated. There were disputes over who owed whom what. And I'm going to trust Peter over a bunch of hippies living in South America. That is how Peter was, 10 years ago. He was only eating fruit. He wanted to have a community around that for whatever reason, anarcho-capitalist. And in the last 4 years or so, he had a change of heart, like many of us. He got red-pilled. And so that's Peter's story.
Thank you for clearing that up because, they really made him sound like he was just like this villain roaming the lands. And it's typical, of course, of the ADL.
Right. No, the ADL to come after us. I mean, I'm shocked. I didn't know they did things like this. So surprising, out of character, really. No, of course we were expecting this from the beginning. And I always thought that this is the ideal rhetorical battle for us to be in. Instead of saying we need to control the country, we need this and that, we want our own neighborhoods and to be left alone. And even on that battlefield, they're willing to come out and attack us and harass us and libel us. And average people do see it. So I think it's the battle that has to happen. I mean, ideally, we could just build these communities and not worry about it.
Yeah.
But clearly it's not just about, discrimination against the underprivileged. Like we're not wealthy. I mean, you can see we're building from scratch and making do with what we can. And they're clearly punching down. They're multi-million-dollar organizations attacking us. And we're just a few white families in like a poor rural area in Arkansas. So it takes the mask off. And I think we just have to keep pushing here.
I think so too. And it's so reminiscent and so predictable. We see the attacks on Orania mounting right now in South Africa, the claims that they've got jobs there, but Leroy or whatever the South African equivalent, he doesn't have a job. They're able to not have to lock up their houses. But Leroy, I've literally read an article, brother, where they did this. They compared the white people going off on our own, like we build Western civilization. We go off, we build something healthy, we build something productive, we build something safe, we build a nursery room. And then the anti-whites come in with these arguments to white guilt us, to disarm us. And they say, look, there is a non-white person somewhere that doesn't have the health better than white people, that doesn't have more money than all white people, that does. And so therefore, you need to. So I see the exact same thing. This is so symptomatic of anti-whiteism. They're going after us in Orania, down on the Orange River. Now they're heading into northern Arkansas and coming after the work that we're doing there. I wonder if you might, and I love, it's so true. They want to bring publicity to this. They want to attack a beautiful little white community coming together. Let that be let that be what our brothers and sisters. I know the anti-whites will be happy with that, but let our normal brothers and sisters out there hear about that, because they're thinking, I want to live in a nice white place. That's why they keep white flighting. So let them watch that. Let them see that happening. But I wonder if you might tell us, how did this get started? Like you guys are rolling along, and all of a sudden, what was it? Was it a Reddit? What was it?
Yeah, it was one Redditor in particular about, I don't know, 6 months ago. I think it was the same guy under a different account did a similar thing, spamming these threads in different local subreddits. I think he did the Jewish subreddit back then as well, but just trying to call attention to what we were doing, how it's probably illegal and you should contact the government about it. And he got zero traction last time. No one cared. And I mean, even he decided, after looking into it, what we're doing is probably legal. There's probably nothing we can do. And after half a year, he comes back, and now he's started 15 different subreddits. It really blew up on and was posted first, as far as I know, on r/Jewish. And he's calling for them to contact local government, the Fair Housing Commission in Arkansas. And they absolutely have, because I've seen statements from local government, and generally they're saying, well, we'll look into the matter, which this is a very conservative area. Many people feel the way we do. And so that's what a government office would have to tell them. Oh, we'll look into it. I imagine the most likely outcome is really that nothing happens, nothing comes of it. I think because anyone with a bit of sense will see that this is not the hill to die on for the establishment. And people don't trust the government as it is. They make it crystal clear you can't even have a white neighborhood. It's not about markets. It's not about lack of jobs or lack of housing. There wasn't housing when we came here. We're developing raw land from scratch, 150 acres. It's nothing. There's plenty of land everywhere out here that's completely uninhabited. So the notion just on its face is preposterous that we're depriving anyone else of opportunities. We're just doing our own thing. So I don't think, if they're wise, they won't push it. If they do push it, however, from what I've looked into, if the Fair Housing Commission finds us for some violation of discrimination law, the first offense is $15,000. So, okay, worst case scenario, we lose, we have to pay 15 grand. That sucks. But on the other hand, we get the fine in the mail, and now we have a court date. And now we're connected with lawyers on our side who are very experienced, very qualified, and we can mount a serious defense. And if we win, set serious precedent. So, I've seen the objections they've had to why what we're doing is not legal. We've discussed it. The board of managers at RTTL has discussed it months and months ago, before they ever caught wind of it. And we believe we have a very solid defense. The primary purpose here is not real estate development. It's ethno-cultural community. We have online aspects. We have this community here. We're looking to open recreational properties. And also RTTL doesn't own the land. It doesn't manage the land. RTTL is a association for facilitating white communities. That's it. We have our company here that holds the land. If anything, they could try to sue the company that holds the land, but that's very difficult, I think, because there aren't that many people involved. There's no clear-cut evidence of discrimination. Someone would have to have joined the PMA and then come down and visited with us and passed our screening process, applied to actually buy in, and then we would have to turn them down ostensibly for some kind of racial motive. And that's never happened. That's probably not going to happen. So unless the Fair Housing Commission goes out of its way just to attack us with no plaintiff involved, no one's been victimized, nothing's going to happen.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I hope, and I also think right along the same lines that you are thinking there. With this is not the hill they want to go in and wage war against a bunch of ordinary white folk moved out. Practically, it sounds like it's the middle of nowhere, and they've got a little thing going with some houses and some tents and a rec center and everything. The vast majority of white people are going to say, just leave them alone. Why would you go to try to destroy this? Especially since there's already precedent where all these other non-white communities are doing the same thing.
Yeah, there's the Black community in Georgia. Everyone celebrated that. They said, great, they'll have a safe space for themselves. And there's also, equal treatment under the law. If you've set the precedent that the Black community is okay, well, then we have to be okay. Because what's the difference?
Exactly. Yes. Well, and I think it's also interesting to point out, because it's occurring to me as we're chatting, that the ADL is in this endeavor is functioning just like the South African government. Both entities are anti-white. Both entities are targeting white communities that are building, have built, and are proving that we are the West. We are the people who make Western civilization. We are the people who make these safe spaces in the West. And that's a glaring obstacle for them as they turn the rest of what was once our countries into these multiracial, anti-white hellholes where white people are constantly fleeing left and right. I'm so much more positive on what you are doing because, as I was saying earlier, your focus is on us. Your focus is on our people, making an environment where we, our individuals, not white people in the abstract, can be safe, can be happy, can homeschool, can inoculate us against anti-whiteism, rather than like in that article, that god-awful article, they're talking about these other people who endeavored to start so-called pro-white communities. They weren't pro-white at all. I mean, there's a fundamental difference between everything that I hear you say and what these other people say. I wonder if you have any thoughts about that.
Well, that's the way I came to white identitarian beliefs. I became pro-white because I realized that the books that I'm reading are all white men. The music that I like, it's all white people creating that music. I enjoy European culture. I enjoy my European heritage and identity. I even just like the way white people look and act, and I can get along with them a little more easily. It's like, I like these people. And for me, I grew up in Southern California. I didn't have a lot of white friends. There weren't a lot of white people around. So I really didn't understand. I understood that I was being attacked for who I was. That I was conscious of. But I didn't understand what it was like in the positive sense to have a community of people that you could easily identify with. When I got to college for classical music, then all of a sudden I was around a lot of educated, intelligent white people, and it was great. So I mean, that's been my outlook coming into this. And I think the people who actually want to show up and be productive, they don't want to complain about minorities. They want to build, and there's plenty to do. So why bother complaining?
Yes. I love the productivity. I love it. It's just such a positive view. And the people that go through that, they're happier people. They're healthier people. Mentally, they are healthier people. That's exactly what we need to be doing. That's how we need to be focused. I'm much more positive. Over the years, there have been a lot of these. They mentioned a couple of them in that article. Of course, you have the big effort with a lot of money that was behind it in West Virginia. And of course, because of their focus, it went to naught. And also there've been several efforts in the Northwest. Yeah, what you all are doing has the right focus. That's why I believe it has the possibility of succeeding where others were kind of just like fancies. But where does it go from here? What's happening? What do you expect, if you expect anything from the anti-whites, the ADL? And then let us know also where folks can go to help you out and help out the RTTL community.
Sure. Well, you can join the PMA. You can join anonymously. It's a $25 application fee, and then you're a lifelong member. We are thinking about instituting a higher tier of membership that is paid so that we can build resources to do more. But yeah, that's at returntotheland.org. I started an initiative to fund a tour around the country so that I can go personally and help organize land buys, not for full-time residents, intentional communities, because that's really, really complicated. And there are a lot of ways where you can go wrong, right? Other people have tried things like this, and they've, like the guy in North Dakota who tried this, I forget his name, but he got busted on health department violations. So you have to be organized, and you have to have really good management to make a residential community work. I mean, residential development, that's something that huge corporations with, legal teams and contractors and all of these experts do. So to do that takes a certain level of expertise, and we're barely just developing that to handle our own needs. However, going and facilitating the purchase of recreational land where you can go with your family on the weekend and meet up with other pro-whites, that's relatively easy. And the legal precedent there is super strong. So there are country clubs that have proven that they can be discriminatory on whatever grounds. That's a First Amendment, very fundamental kind of issue. So I want to go around the country and get this going. Right now, I put out a poll. If I am able to do this and organize these land buys, would you personally be willing to invest in land with other pro-whites near you? And it was like 90% plus saying they would. More than 1,000 respondents now saying they want to do this. We have more than 1,000 people right now who are saying, yes, we want territory. We want lands together. We want our own communities. And maybe it's not the full-time residence community like we are here immediately, but I think that's probably a healthier way to go. Have a place to meet up, get to know one another, and then from there, who knows what develops. It's also just something to do with our time that's productive. You can go buy land and then spend time developing it, spend time volunteering with your friends. And I think that'll build a whole different kind of culture on our side.
I really like that. And just step at a time, man. The victories, getting like you're talking about there, getting some recreational land, going and working on it with other people who are white positively oriented. They want to build, they want to have these places where we can meet, exactly as you said. Really excited about that. And I'm hoping to God that the ADL doesn't decide to try to bring down some kind of suits or whatever, just so we don't have to deal with that kind of thing. But I'm with you. If they do that, they're going to bring a lot of attention to white people, our brothers and sisters out there. They're going to wonder, why are you attacking them just for being out there by them? Let me go check out this RTTL guy and what they actually believe and what they're actually saying over there, rather than just take it word for word from an organization that's already deeply discredited itself as anti-white. I mean, even in the Jewish community, there are Jews that don't like the ADL. So certainly these anti-white POSs are really showing their ass here with this focus on what you want. And maybe they end up backtracking because they realize how bad they look here. But we've gotten
messages from Jews who say, hey, we support what you're doing. We don't believe in the anti-white stuff the ADL is doing. And so Jews are on our side, blacks are on our side, Hispanics are on our side. Some might not be also. It's not all of them. And not all whites are on our side. Right. But there's a broad enough base of support that it does come through. Like on the comments, a Daily Mail published a piece and then had to immediately take it down because all the comments were in our favor. So I think it's a really bad idea for them to push it.
That is so awesome. Tell folks where they can find you one more time, and I will make sure I put your YouTube and X in the description once we're done here today. But where can folks find you? And is there anything else that you want to share before we let you go on this epic swash through?
Yeah, that's the big news right now. I mean, I'll be hopefully coming to a town near you to facilitate these land buys. So be on the lookout. Returntotheland.org to sign up. My X is Aarvoll _ and my YouTube, just search Aarvoll, you'll find it. Yeah, we have a couple, fundraisers for this, the legal fundraiser, and then the fundraiser to fund this tour to get the lands on our, under our control again, taking back the land.
So awesome, man. I love it. I got these visions of white kids running. It's like with our great Dean Brant Danger and School of the West .world. I have visions of that being like a physical entity at some point with beautiful statues of our people. And so I've got some visions now of this happening. If you ever get up around Northern Virginia, anywhere up PA, West Virginia, Maryland, I will definitely come see you then, and we'll hang out. But thanks so much for coming on today for this swash through and giving us a heads up on this anti-white attack on the good white positive work that you all are doing, man.
Absolutely. Hey, respect to you, Jason. Nice being with you, and I will see you soon, I'm sure.
All right, man. Bye-bye.